What's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome back to the Call to Action Network. It's Chill to Action Sunday. Welcome, y'all. You know me. It's your girl, Danny Joy here, hanging out once again with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
I never get tired of hearing that.
I bet you don't, buddy.
It's a nice stroke to the ego. We have 11 hosts on the show, and I'm your favorite.
It gets tiresome every single week that I have to say it. I do have to admit that.
I will slip you the Venmo after the show. It's okay. We'll talk about that later. But it's me. It's PLD. It's so nice to see everybody. I love getting to get together with you guys every other week now, as it is, with some great guests, with some great hosts, some great chat members. It's a great day. It's a great day. We have just finished a 3-week stint of a lot going down in the Schmoedown with the awards. Well, you know about that. With the two-talk, with the free agency special, and of course the draft and all the rookie specials in between. And yes, thank you. I know, Billy. I know I'm your least favorite. You don't have to tell anybody. We all know that. That's okay. But here we are. We're through with it. We're getting ready for the season to begin. We're going to take this small breath of fresh air. This is a good time for us at this point.
I think so. New season is starting. We're here. We're ready. War is upon us. So we're all going to have to zen out just a little bit before we get started into this next season, because it's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. I do want to give a big shout out to David B, because I love listening to that chill music every single week, every other week now. It puts a good little love feeling inside of my heart. So big, huge shout out to David B. For making that music for us and for doing all of the intense music for the Schmoedown.
I'm not gonna lie. By the way, you know we're bi-weekly. I still put the music on every week because
I should actually make that my alarm song. So that's what I wake up to. That'd be a nice ringtone to wake up to, I think.
I could have Zoom calls all the day. By the way, and Indiana will leave me alone. The moment I go live, that's when Indiana says, I gotta hang out and talk to everybody.
Well, Indiana is actually here for me.
That's probably what it is. He heard your voice. He's like, I gotta do it. All right, Indiana Jones, Marty McFly.
Indiana Jones is my best friend. Thank you so much. But y'all, we are not here for Indiana Jones as much as we love that fluffy cat and that fluffy butt. We are here on this happy Sunday. Again, thank you all for hanging out with us. So the last time that this person was here on the show, Miss Shannon Barney, she was here November 10th, 2019. So much has happened between then. So in between that time, we've watched Corruption win the team championships. We've watched them lose the team championships. We watched Chance and Mike go through that intense Inner Geekdom tournament. We watched Chance win that Inner Geekdom tournament against Mike Kalinowski in the finals. We got to watch this person draft Adam Collins and Marisol Mulkey in the middle of the year. Watch them take Adam Collins into this legendary run throughout the single season, winning the championship belt. Oh my gosh. Finished the 2020 season as Faction of the Year, Manager of the Year, the one, the only, my friends. You know her, you love her, the Queen of Mean, Miss Shannon Barney. Welcome.
Hi, guys. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing?
Doing very, very well, especially now that you're here. I'm so glad we got to get this rescheduled.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. It's so good to have you on. We're so glad to have you on for your first solo chill. You definitely we made a good apparent impression back in the day when Mike Kalinowski came on, of course. You were actually, I'm not gonna lie, you were the star of that episode too. But that's neither here nor there. That's just sweet. But it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
So tell us all about it. I mean, tell us all about it. We know, I usually ask, how do you get the Schmoedown to begin? But we kind of know that now. You kind of told about that last time. But now that you're all in and you're so far in that you can't get out, what has this been like since you first stepped foot on the stage with Mike?
Exhausting. It's been nonstop. It's consumed my whole life. I can't do anything else. No, it's been really, really fun. It's just as rewarding and just as fun as I expected it to be. It's been incredible getting to know, obviously like my faction and some of the people that I didn't speak to, but that I wasn't as close to before. It has been all encompassing. It has been a commitment. It has been a long haul and an effort. And I'm not lying when I say it's exhausting, because it truly is, but it's been really, really great. And I'm very happy that, I decided to do this and stick it out. And 2019 was the first. That's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Over a year. I can't believe we've been on that long, actually, sometimes, but that's
Nuts.
Well, 2020 was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
But you're riding a little high now. I mean, you took your team from the bottom all the way to the top. How good are you feeling still? Are you in next season mode already, or can you bat just a little bit with, damn, I was good?
No, I don't know that it took longer than like 24 hours to be like, yeah, we did that shit, before I was like, okay, now what? Because now we did it, but what does that mean? Now we have to do it again. Like, okay, you did it. You set the bar, but we're the first ones to do it. We can always say that. I'm very proud of us. I'm very proud of all of our accomplishments and everything that everyone did. But we were kind of the test dummies for the way that this season was going to work. So, we have so much more work ahead of us. So much more.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely. So going into this season, last season, oh my gosh, Shannon, there was a lot of tension between you and a lot of other people inside of the Schmoedown. That had to have been a lot of fun as a manager. Does that ever affect your work as a manager, dealing with everyone else?
No, not really. I mean, it is fun. It's what you make of it. Everything in the Schmoedown is exactly what you make of it. If you make it fun dealing with these personalities and you make it part of your shtick, whether it's for better or for worse, you know what I mean? It's a lot, but it's fun. It's super fun. It's all of the rivalries, all of the challenges, that we had to face as a faction. Everything that we did was, I love this kind of talking shit and having fun and letting people take jabs at me and me going back. It's just all of it. All of it is just a good time.
Oh, God, I love that answer. I gotta say, I called the draft this year. After the draft happened, I kind of called it the Adam Collins effect.
Yes.
You picked up Adam Collins and Marisol McKee during the free agency thing, and you ran with them all the way to the end, riding Adam Collins having as many points as almost anybody other factions half the time, it seemed like. So it obviously considered a great decision, a great pickup. And it seems like everybody's trying to ride in your coattails now with that, because you picked up every rookie possibly in sight during that to the year on that. Did you watch that back and be like, this is my doing? Everybody's doing what I'm trying. Everybody's trying to copy me now.
Well, there's a lot of confusion because I drafted Marisol. Marisol was a straight up draft. I think I don't know if she was like 6th or 8th. I mean, she was. I didn't do it on the televised. No, I didn't do it televised live. But when we came back and finished out our rosters, I drafted Marisol, but I did not pick up Adam until the free agency. He wasn't even available until that mid-season time. Though we had spoken before the free agency was available, I just didn't have that spot available to him at the time, but we kept in touch. But yeah, watching it, I'm glad that I didn't have to say it because everyone else noticed it. And they're like, well, here goes the Adam Collins effect, like the triple championship or whatever. I don't know. It was hilarious. I mean, but there were a lot of really great rookies. A lot of people really put their necks out there and made names for themselves and became very, very visible. So I don't know that there's another Adam Collins in there. I hope to hell there's not. But I really, really think there's some really strong players that people have picked up, and I'm excited to see. But yeah, of course they wanted to see, well, it worked for Shannon, it's going to work for us. Not necessarily.
Well, I do know, I can say, we've actually talked to a lot of the rookies this year and everything else. I had a lot of interviews. One of them did share with me, before the whole thing went down, he put out his video, he put out his stuff, and he's like, I talked to him, have you talked to any manager or anything? And he said, I'm not going to say who it was, but he said behind the scenes, Shannon was the first person to look at it. I put something up and she was in that video the next half hour or something like that. It was so he was really impressed with how quickly it was. I didn't know people had seen it yet. So it means, to me, that shows how engaged you were and how engaged you were right from the get-go as far as scouting goes. A question I do have as far as this goes, how heavy, do you have any help on that from your faction? Does Mike help you out with that? Does Chance help you with that? Or are you doing this all yourself? Or how'd that go as far as scouting goes?
Yeah. I mean, it's a collaborative effort, but I did watch so many audition videos. I did reach out to so many people that I was interested. Chance is so into this stuff. He was doing his own thing on the side, and then we'd talk and he'd be like, oh, I talked to so-and-so. And I'm like, great. So did I. He was definitely like my right-hand man in this, but I went through and put together, like, we did like meet corruption nights with a bunch of Star Wars players. We did 2 separate events with a bunch of rookies that we all saw, and afterwards, like, Chance and Adam Collins was in the mix with us. Once we found out that Marisol was sticking with us, she came in on it. Mike was there talking to him. So we really sat down and made it kind of a group feel to get to know these people. And I'd had side conversations with them, obviously in private one-on-one as well, but I wanted it to be kind of a low pressure, let's just get to know you situation and kind of vibe check and see who stuck out to us, and particularly me, because it's, at the end of the day, it's my call. But yeah, we did a lot of research. I looked up a lot of players. I had a lot of conversations and a lot of Taco Tuesday nights sitting here on my computer with a bunch of people that I didn't know. So it was great. It was really fun. It was really cool.
Yeah, that family vibe definitely seems like it's a big part of corruption. So let's get ready, network. Hail to the freaking queen. Shannon, so happy for you this year. Congrats on your success this year. Cannot wait to see what you do this year. Yeah.
Assuming that's Shug.
Yeah, that's Shug. Big shout out to Shug. So again, corruption has this big family feeling towards it. So out of the 12 people that you have on your roster, 8 of them were on your roster from last year. 8 out of the 10 people that you had on your roster from last year. Was that always the plan, to keep your faction intact?
Yeah, I always wanted to keep as many of them together as I could. It's some of them didn't get, I think, the shot that they deserved. I think some of them fell a little short, but it doesn't mean that they were bad or that they shouldn't have been redrafted. I think, everyone contributed. Even if they lost, my whole team contributed, and they all want to play. And so it's like, why would I not take them back? Do you know what I mean? And the way the draft was going, I was like, this is working out better and better for me with every single round, with the exception of Laura Kelly, and it's a hard loss for me personally, but like, I was able to get back, like, everyone who wanted to be here is here. And that makes me really proud. And I think that's going to make them perform better. I think they're going to have a much better season because they're going to have that familiarity. They're going to be comfortable. They're all happy to be back. No one's like, oh, great, now I got to figure out a way to, like, wiggle out of this. So it's really cool. I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I am too. I think having a dynasty team is something that we need to see inside of the Schmoedown. And if corruption is going to be it, then hell yeah.
I'll take it. I'm okay with it.
Schmo me the money.
Shannon's amazing. Bow to the queen. That'd be Brandon Buckingham, I believe. Good to see you, Buck.
Thanks, Buck.
Well, yeah. So I agree. Let's talk about that now. Now the draft is over. Of course, you were famous for your words. You're going to cut anybody who took Marisol or Laura Kelly, and people said there's no way you're getting them back. There's no possibility that they're coming back to corruption, and yet you did pull off some amazing stuff, and you got Marisol back at least.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how that went down. I want to explore the trade with you. Like, how many different people approach? Walk us through that. Walk us through how it went down.
So I talked to Ben Bateman first because, he had his hand in everyone's cookie jar, and he was like, there's absolutely no way you're getting both. And I was like, piss off. Like, I will. And at first I was feeling very stubborn and boneheaded. And I was like, no, put them both in the draft. Like, no. And I was hell bent on getting them both that way. And then obviously the more I talked to people, I was like, okay, nope, that's definitely not going to happen. So I can it was a very quick realization that I was either going to lose both of them or I was only going to lose one of them. So it was a lot of conversations separately with Marisol and with Laura. Kind of just talking about expectations. And I told them both I would keep them in the loop every single step of the way. And I did. If there's ever a change, whatever the plan was, I had Chance in people's ear. I talked to, I think I talked to Sam. I talked to Kate. I talked to Kaiser. I talked to a lot of people that I felt had their eyes set on either of them. I mentioned it to Gucci very briefly. And that really, I don't know if he responded, but it wasn't like we didn't like flesh it out. You know what I mean? But Kate was willing to bite because she was in a situation where she could afford to do so. And it was kind of just a situation of like, I want to take Laura and I want to take Marisol, but at the end of the day, it just came down to Marisol is a multi-division player. She's already got a partner. And if I don't secure her, there's absolutely no shot of me getting her. Like, I talked to Roxy, and Roxy was like, if she's in the draft, I'm absolutely taking her the very first chance I get. I knew that Kaiser was interested. I knew that I found out that Gucci would have taken her right away too. So her target was a lot bigger than Laura's. But they were both equally passionate about wanting to stay. And I was equally passionate about keeping both of them. So it was just a shitty, not fun situation for any of us. But at the end of the day, I needed to keep Marisol because she currently has too much hype around her. And, I had a better shot at getting Laura back than I did of Marisol. And I have a better shot at getting Laura traded back to me than I would Marisol. So it's, it sucks. We have to play the long game now, which, like I said, that realization happened pretty quickly and I'm okay with it. And we're just going to have to keep chipping away at it.
So it sounds like you haven't given up on it yet, though. So
no.
You still have plans. Obviously not going to tell us your plans, but you have any wheels working? You have an idea of how you might make that work?
Yeah, I have an idea at other people. I guess not other people. I have an idea for Winston's motives or anyone else who would have drafted her. I would imagine that we're all smart and possibly a little opportunistic. So I have in my head kind of an idea of what they want to get out of her. And I have to be willing and flexible to let them get what they want before I can get what I want. You know what I mean? Because with Laura, it's not so much about her getting the belt and her winning the Star Wars tournament and her doing the bet it's not about that. That's not why I want her on my team. That'd be great. And she's totally capable of doing it, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the game. So we're not done fighting for her. And I know Chance is like, he's hot over it. Adam's hot over it. Marisol might, like, everyone wants her back. And I know how badly she wants to come back. So like I said, it's just, I know what people want out of her, and where there's a will, there's a way. And if we can all talk it out, I think maybe not immediately, but somewhere down the road, there's room for her to come back.
Do you feel like because of your history with Winston being nominated for biggest feud with Winston, but ultimately winning against Roxy, do you feel like that history makes it easier or harder to win back Laura Kelly? Because, man, that had to have been such a hard thing to watch Laura Kelly go to Winston in the draft. Of all people.
I didn't see that one coming. I thought for sure Gucci had her. I was like, Gucci's going to take her. I wasn't super worried about Kate. She and I had already had a deal, and we had been kind of in communication throughout the draft. So I was more worried about Kaiser or Gucci. And then when they passed and we started watching this draft, we were like, we don't want to get too excited, but we were like, is there a chance that someone's really actually not there's no way they're going to let her go. Like, there's no way this is happening. And of course I was like, Winston, you little. And then when you turn around and got ace, because of course, my brain was immediately like, okay, now I'm getting ace, then screw you. Fuck it. And sorry. But then
it's all you want.
But then oh yeah, that's right. Thank God. Okay. Like this back to back, and I was like, you greedy little shit. And I was like, okay, all right, I got you, because he and I talked about, Marisol and Laura kind of casually earlier on, and he wasn't on my radar. I thought he had other priorities, but I know he's petty, and I know he likes to have his fun, and I know there's that whole payback for the wild berries. So I get it. It's just like Winston and I have a very like brother-sister rivalry. You know what I mean? But behind the scenes, Winston and I are really cool. So we'll see. I don't expect him to make this easy for me. There's no way he's going to do it because his management is on the line, and he knows what's going to, he knows the heat he'll get if he gives her back to me, but it's, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I haven't given up hope or faith. I think we can work something out, but not right now. I don't think anything's going to happen yet.
I got to give you credit. Like everybody counts you out, you seem to find a way to make them pay and get what you want. So I'm done doubting you as far as that goes. So I believe right now we're going to get Laura Kelly back corruption before the end of the year somehow. I have that kind of faith. But I do want to say, you mentioned the wild berries. Did you have any like inspiration? Did you feel any desire when Coy picked up Greg again to repeat your villainous acts?
A little bit.
And break up the rejects. It went through your minds a little bit.
Goodness.
I think because what Winston did, I was like, I should just do it again just for the hell of it. But then I was like, no, you can't do anything just for the hell of it now. Like, you got to make sure you make good decisions. So I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, of course it crossed my mind. I was like, oh, this could be funny. If I can't repeat the faction championship, at least I can repeat a beloved team breakup. I don't know. No, I didn't go for it. There were still people that we wanted. There were still people that we hadn't acquired yet that we were still looking at. And it was like, let me go with my people here. So it wasn't worth it this time around.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
you picked up four new people to the corruption faction, 3 of which have already played. Sean Sullivan, which I'm super pumped for Sean to be on corruption. So pumped for that. Joseph Scrimshaw to help him with Star Wars and stuff like that. Getting an OG Star Wars player into your faction, especially one that took people to the wire in their matches, I think is definitely a good move. James White, who definitely has a lot to prove this season, going in there. And Jacob London. Jacob London is the only rookie on your roster, as opposed to a draft full of rookie picks.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people that picked up rookies this season. You picked up one, but you picked up one that definitely had a lot of energy behind their name. Christian Harloff specifically shouted him out. Jacob has definitely had a good run inside of the fan leagues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about your rookie pickup as opposed to everyone else having almost a roster full of rookies?
I'm so excited for Jacob. For him, it was... we had, he was obviously part of our like rookie, meet corruption night. And the conversations that I had with him, he was so dedicated to improvement and so willing to do whatever it takes. And his managing of expectations was something I thought was pretty impressive, because obviously, like, he's international, and I think that took a lot of interest off of him. But I found a really nice strategic use for him that I'm very excited about. And, it fits as an accessory to exactly what we need to be successful. So I'm really excited about him. He was so happy to be drafted by us. And there were a couple rookies that I really, really, really wanted. I would have been open to a lot more rookies, but they all left before I got a chance to get them. And Jacob was someone especially that I wanted on our team, because he left a really good impression. He knows a lot of people, and he's really good. He's really good, but he wants to be better. And he's someone who will thrive in a family-like environment, who wants that kind of camaraderie and that group work ethic. So I think he's going to be a perfect fit with us.
Nice.
Are there? Would you be willing to name a few that got away that you were looking to get that were?
Yeah, that's fine. They all know. I really, really loved talking to Rick Radis. I really, really enjoyed Frankie Alvarez. I would have been happy to have either of them on our team. I thought that Mark Haas, I will say Gucci, and I put it on Twitter. I was like, I hate you. I really hate you, because Mark has flown under the radar, but you can ask Chance and Adam. I was like, I just have a feeling about this guy, and I really, really want to snag him. But because he's not on social media and he's not hyping himself up and he's not doing all this, because I did my research too. So I was like, hopefully he'll get away for a couple rounds and we can snag him. It'd be great. But Barbarian did Gucci's homework too. So it's one of those things where he got away, and I was like, motherfucker, you shit. So those were 3 in particular. And Gold Leader I wanted so bad, and they got Gold Leader, and I was like, I hate you so much. I have a good feeling about him too. But now that pressure's off of me to have them live up to the expectation. So I'm like, okay, maybe it works out better that way. We'll see.
Jacob in the chat, being excited to be a part of corruption. Yeah, and I will say, I told us on the show yesterday, I got to see the famed dossier, as there were some of it anyway, after the Gucci show. And yeah, you're right. Those players, you look good. I think they're going to be good for Gucci as well. So you're going to might miss out on them. But you know what? You can only do so much, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
I guess that means that Craig the Barbarian will be up for Manager of the Year next season.
I said that too. I was like, he better if the Finstock Exchange comes out on top, they better kiss his feet because he'll go and say, oh, they just sent me out on duty, and I'm like, no, they didn't. You're a liar. You did all that. I know you did all that. I know he did. So, and I mean, look, we all had help. It's not, it's not like I went out and found everyone I wanted all by myself, but Dagnino can't even pronounce dossier. Like how, what did he really do?
Sure.
Come on.
Yeah, ever increasing.
Come on. Some of us aren't as loud about the work that we put in, but it doesn't mean we're not working. And
right.
Most of us can pronounce, simple words, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
I
do have.
Go, Paul.
Okay, I do have a follow up about Joseph Scrimshaw. Mm-hmm. I heard rumblings. You can talk. You know more than I. You probably talked to him, obviously, at this point. I heard rumblings that there was potential scheduling issues, like he may not be around for all the season. Mm-hmm. Did you know that beforehand? Does that matter at this point? Is he going to be around enough? How's that going?
To me, it doesn't really matter. At first I wasn't aware of it, and I was a little ticked off over it. But then I talked to Joseph, and I'm absolutely fine with the situation. And so no, he's not going to be as available as people want him to be, but like he never is. Like it's not like he is he comes in, he does his job, and then he goes back to his life. And I respect his boundaries. And I told him, he wants to play and he's willing to play, and he will if and when he can. And there's certain time frames that he might be more available than not, but he's not it's not like you're never going to see him. And the fact of the matter is like, I still have Sean Sullivan. So I still have a great Star Wars player that can play all the time. And if you don't think that they're going to work around Scrimshaw's schedule to get him a match here and there, like, come on. Like, they're not going to be like, okay, sorry, you're just not going to play. The guy's a legend. He's amazing. And he knows his stuff and he wants to do it. It's just a matter of, okay, he's got a very small time frame. So we did talk, and I understand that he's not, obviously around all the time, but I still think he'll get us a match. And I think because of last season, I'm not as worried about Star Wars. Laura got us 3 points in that tournament, and we needed them. We needed the 3 points. It was great, but we didn't win from winning anything in Star Wars. So as much as I understand that, we might have 2 tournaments and it's important and there's a spotlight on it, like we have everything else covered, and we have a great Star Wars player who is available for every match. So I'm not too nervous about that. I don't really feel, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that there's anything for Corruption to be nervous about in the Star Wars division. I'm a big fan of Sean Sullivan. I'm very ready for Sean Sullivan to prove himself inside of this league. And that was what made me pretty excited about Sean being a part of this league and having Joseph Scrimshaw have his back inside of this. So yeah, maybe Scrimshaw's not going to be available for a lot of matches, but we don't know how much he's going to do behind the scenes to help Sean Sullivan advance inside of this league. And to have someone like Scrimshaw have your back in that, I think is a very big deal. And I'm super pumped for Sean and for Captain to do this. So I'm looking forward to all of that.
And Sully brings the whiskey as well, so that's always a good plus for him. I know that.
Yeah. So especially with Sean. So Sean is more so of a face inside of the league, where Corruption is a band full of heels and all of that stuff. So I'm very curious to see how you work with Sean and to see what happens with Sean, and if we can get Sean as corrupted as we saw Elliot Dewberry go into the season. That was a fun character change for me to see. So I'm super pumped for Sully in all aspects of the show. Ben Rainer in the chat, after seeing what happened with Elliot, I can't wait to see what happens with Sullivan. Going to be great. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sullivan's so much fun. Like, and that guy's got some spice, and he was not happy about falling as far as he did in that draft. So if you think he's in a great mood and just ready to come in and shake hands and bump fists and elbows with everyone, I think you're going to be a little surprised. He's not in a good mood. People overlooked him. People got rookies over him. And, he can still be the Saint if he wants. I don't care. There's 50 shades of heel in Corruption. You can be whatever you want to be here. We're not one size fits all. I don't care.
I like the idea of having someone to Saint.
Joseph Scrimshaw is on my squad now. Like, there's still room. You don't have to be a bad guy to be part of Corruption. That's what makes this so fun.
You be bad enough for the rest of them. It's fine. It's fine.
That's what it is.
Oh, I gotta actually ask. Like, you bring it up in a way. I'm curious. Like, you were the rookie. You were known as the rookie person with Adam Collins and everything else, and then you changed up. You got a lot of vets this time around. And like we said before, it definitely seemed like the rookies took over the draft. Do you feel like people are disrespecting the veterans at all with how far they all? There's quite a few of them that fell far. Rachel Silvestrini didn't even get picked on the live presentation. Are you? What are your thoughts on that? As far did they go too far with the rookies?
No, I don't think so. I think that the Adam Collins effect paired with knowing some like rookies that I don't want to say are a liability, because I think everyone's base knowledge is pretty good. But I think with the adoption of this TKO and KO rule and it having a negative connotation and a negative effect on your points, I think people drafted a lot differently. And now that there's so many rookies, it's going to be a lot of rookie on rookie matches. So you're not gonna have, although, I mean, Adam Collins TKO'd Roca, so I can't really say that either. But it's just, I think that people were trying to find, I think managers are trying to find a balance between drafting the old school way and going with people that they like and they know, and then going for what's going to get us points and how are we going to avoid losing by TKO this year.
Which, by the way, as an old school team action fan, it always warms our hearts to see John Roca getting TKO'd. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
By the way,
it's funny because he talks the most shit about rookies, fucking Roca, and now they've got a squad full of rookies. And I'm like, good luck to you, buddy.
Interesting dynamic for sure.
What's that old saying? Those who can't do teach.
maybe at this point.
Just
kidding, John. Don't come for us, please.
I know we just
ears are burning. He's coming for all of us.
say his name enough, then she'll disappear in the chat. And then
we've already said it too many times.
Well, you know what? Actually, it's funny. Last time you were on, we did an appearance by John Roca. It was the Mike Kalinowski version of John Roca.
That's right. That's right.
Which remains one of my favorite full memories of all time, by the way.
That's 100%.
Mike's not here tonight. He's running errands, so you guys will get no Mike pelvic thrusts or like distant stares into the camera from the corner. Sorry. He's
Mike cameos, as they call them.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come home while we're still going. So maybe at the tail end of this, you might get a peek on him. He's doing stuff.
He's very highly spirited at the draft. How was he feeling during that?
He's so funny, you guys. He was like, you're gonna take, because we only had we have this one computer, right? And it's his desktop. And I've got like an iPad and like my phone and stuff, but the internet is just choppy. So like if I'm doing this kind of stuff, I want to be on his desktop so I can plug in the Ethernet cord and make sure that I've got a smooth connection. And so he's like, you're taking over my house again. And I'm like, it's our house, but okay. But he's like, taking over the computer, taking over all this stuff. I'll just leave for 3 hours. What am I going to do for 3? He's so melodramatic. What am I going to do for 3 hours while you're doing this draft? I don't want to sit here and listen to this and blah, blah, blah. What am I going to do? And I'm like, do whatever. I'm like, or you could just like sit down. And he's like, well, I can't play video games while you're doing that. And I'm like, okay. The whole time, the whole draft, he's sitting at our kitchen table like, what's going on? Who's next? Listening to my conversations. Like, he's so into it. He's wanting to know every step of the way. He's like, I just wasted like 3 hours. And I'm like, I told you to leave if you wanted, but it was a very intense draft. Like we were exhausted afterwards. And I'm like, you didn't even do anything. Go away. But he was so into it. And it was just, Mike is always having more fun than most of us. He's on planet, and I love it. He's the best.
That is hard.
Mike has kind of turned into this granddad of the league, shall I say, especially to be a mentor to corruption for someone who's played in the league for so long and has gone through so many ups and downs inside of multiple divisions and stuff like that. I think having Mike Kalinowski as the Obi-Wan to your group is a very big benefit to anyone that's coming in there. So,
yeah. He's good to them and they're good to him. And, is he like the grand zaddy though? Like, is that
the grand zaddy?
That with like that salt and pepper thing going on? He's like, he's not like that's the granddaddy is like Roca. Like the grand zaddy though.
Yes.
I'll never say that and mean it, but like, forgive it.
That's
I'll let you guys say that. That's on you.
Mike Kalinowski is officially canon as the grand zaddy of the Schmoedown.
Right, tweet him
Mr. Kyle Beckenworth, thank you so much, Kyle, for the $5 donation. Hi, Shannon, you got to steal with Jacob London. Can't wait to see corruption repeat. 100% legit. I think that your faction is definitely going to go somewhere. I think it's very smart. It was a big shock.
And we know something about repeating, so we know what we're talking about.
Oh, that's right. You guys
trying to be humble. 2 times.
I ain't humble at all. Come on now.
Let's also give a moment for James White.
Yes.
James White.
100%.
What are you guys doing?
Like,
how are they doing?
I mean, the guy, the only loss was to William the Beast Bibiani. There's no shame in that.
No.
So,
yeah, I think with the draft being full of a lot of potential going into next season, there's going to be a lot of new faces that we're going to see going into next season. So that's why I think it's really cool and really neat that corruption is going to go in there with mostly familiar faces. And I think someone like James White having corruption on their back, like a patch on their sleeve, is going to be a good look for him, because James White definitely has something to prove. He was a very high draft pick in the draft last season, and unfortunately, because of shit that just happened in 2020, did not get a lot of matches put in there. And like Paul said, losing against William Bibiani is not a big deal. I'm sorry.
Of course, for the most part. I mean,
sorry, we're not all people who can say that they beat William Bibiani. There's not very many of them. So I think James White coming into your faction and into corruption is a very big pick. And I think that corruption has a very big potential. It's going to be a big thing to see the difference in the draft picks, because there are like I said, you had 8 people from your draft. The only person who has as many other people from their draft list is Koi. Koi has 6 people. Everyone else has 4 or less than that from their roster last year. So it's going to be really exciting to see the dynamic in that going.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and Koi and I had a bunch of people that, let's be frank, like not a lot of people wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like the top half of our rosters are so heavy that people forget about the bottom half. And because they performed, and my bottom half was mostly rookies. So it's like, because they underperformed with their one chance they got, it's like nobody was interested. And that was perfect for me, because I told them all from the beginning too. And down to like Clea and Claudia, they wanted to come back. From me to Chance to Adam, we all wanted them back. So it's great that, people don't, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
Is there anything else that you can tell us about the conversations with Clea and Claudia? Because those 2 picks are definitely big picks in my eyes, because they unfortunately did not get a lot of matches going into last season, but they did very well inside of the matches that they did get to play. So hearing you say that they were excited about coming back, like, is there anything more that you can tell us about them specifically coming back into your faction?
I know that I had to pick Clea up, and I had to just kind of, I hate putting that value on each of these players, because from a self-esteem point of view, like, who wants to be the last person picked? Do you know what I mean? It sucks. And because I'm so involved with them personally and I feel so strongly about them as people, it's really hard for me to step back and go, okay, but I have to prioritize so-and-so over so-and-so, because the way other people are looking at you is going, you're worth more than so-and-so. And I think it's shitty, but I guess that's what we're doing. So I have to program my brain to be able to look at this, as objectively from the other managers' points of view as possible. Because a lot of them are very sports-minded and they are very much about, let's get the points, let's do this. But for Clea, I know that Dagnino was going to pick her up. I knew that she had told me that he had conversations, or Barbarian had conversations with her. I knew that they liked her. I knew that they were interested in her. I wasn't sure how far I could let her drop before they would take her, but it turns out, had I not picked her in the round that I did, I think they would have grabbed her. So I'm very glad that we swooped in when we did and made sure she was part of the televised pick. But Clee's cool. Clee just wants to play. She's like, you know what? She's like, I'm pissed about my first game. She's like, it didn't go how I wanted it to go. And she's like, I don't want to leave you guys. But she was one who was like, but if they draft me, like, I'm gonna play. Like, I want to play. She's like, but please get me back. And I was like, yeah, girl, like, I got you. I'll do whatever I can. So I'm glad that one worked out. Claudia is super chill. Claudia likes to sit in on our study sessions. She's always participating. She's always helping us out. Even before her match, like, and all the COVID shit started, she came over my place, and it was me, her, Chance, and Mike, and we stayed out here for like 4.5 hours running through questions, getting prepared. So she's such a team player, and I know that she wanted to come back, and she's not of the mindset where she's like, I'm ready to go get belts, but this is fun for her. And she knows a lot of the people that are involved, you know, personally, and she wants to be a part of it. And I'm like, then you should. If you want to be a part of it and you want to help out and you want to get a match here and there, then do it. Like, and I just love her. We're both from Texas. So we send each other fucking messages about queso, probably like an inappropriate amount, but like, I love her. I think she's the greatest, and she wanted to be back, and I wanted her back too. So it worked out.
What part of Texas is she from?
I think she's from the Dallas area. Don't tell me if I get that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the Dallas area.
All right.
She already has kind of a record. I mean, I think she might be the most traded player in Schmoedown history. She was traded like 3 or 4 times last year, I think, before she played.
I know.
But hopefully we'll get to see more of her this year. I did like what we saw. So my question about late round picks is you did finally bring back Elliot Dewberry at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have an interesting scenario in which you have 3 returning teams, as it would be. You have obviously corruption, you have deception. Now, is the experiment going to come back, or is there a chance you're going to tinker with that potentially? You don't know yet.
I don't know. I will say that we are having a group meeting this week to kind of talk about what people want. I very much want to do what these players want, because they're the ones who put in the time to study. They're the ones who, you know what I mean, put in all this effort, and I'm here to help them along. But I want to make sure that whatever they're doing is something that they're comfortable with and in line. I want to help them achieve whatever's in line with their goals for the Schmoedown. It's not about what I want. It's about, I don't want to put Hoik on a team if he wants to do singles. I'm not going to do that to him. I don't want to put Dewberry in a situation where he has to do more than he wants to do. You know what I mean? So this season is very much about and it sucks because I've already put myself in a crappy situation because I have so many talented people who can do so much. And it's like, well, who's going to have to sit out this tournament, and who's going to be pissed at me for making them not play in the team? So I've got a lot to juggle, but I know that they all respect each other. But yeah, it's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen with the experiment. I don't know if they're going to stay together. I don't know if I'm going to give Hoik someone else. I don't know if I'm just going to let Hoik play singles and not bother him with a teammate. I don't know.
It's very fair. It's very early on in the season at this point, but I love Hoik. I think he's underrated still at this point. I can't wait to see what he does, and especially in our horror free for all. I loved his performance in that.
So
hey, man.
He's so good.
So, speaking of that, what were you like at watching that horror free for all, watching that go down? Because like, I mean, Adam almost gets knocked out like early on, and all of a sudden, then him and Mark just went on that run. I mean, it was a run and a half. Like, you would have been like, so
he scared me. I was like, oh shit, if Adam Collins loses in this, like, I didn't care if he won the whole thing, but I was like, please do not, no. And luck had it to where he pulled himself up, and then he was just dominant. And I was like, there you go. That's Adam. He's back. It was just unreal. Like because between Collins and Hoik and Whitney Seibold, I was like, I don't know who's going to win this. I genuinely can't say who's going to, and it's just one minor slip up and who knows, but that was a really fun free for all. I thought, I think everyone that hung in there did a great job. But it was so fun. It was so fun just from like my character's perspective to have the winner of it and and the MVP both be from my faction. I was like, oh, people are gonna fucking hate this. They're gonna hate it, and I love it. It was so funny. It was just like this shit-eating grin on my face because I'm like, here we go again. It was awesome. Yeah. And Mark deserved it. The shit that Mark Hoyk went through to do this, oh my God. Because people were like, why didn't he get his turn in singles? And we were going through all sorts of stuff with him with just like technical stuff on the computer. And I know he had a lot of personal things that were happening that he had to deal with. And I didn't want to put pressure on him to come and do Schmoedown stuff on top of it. So when the opportunity for the horror free-for-all came about, I was like, do you have your setup? Are you good? And he like he went like location scouting for like an hours, like trying to find a place where he could hook up a good solid internet connection to be available. And then that's why he was in that Starbucks. Like he just went there and was like, this is where I'll do it. And he like hunkered down and made the effort and drove all the way over there to like, he was like in the middle of nowhere in like Ohio or something. And I'm like, God bless Mark Hoyk. He really wanted to do it. And so I'm so glad that he got that MVP because he really, really went above and beyond to make it happen and to be available for it. So I'm so glad that he got the MVP. It was so great. Oh.
So potentially we're going to see more of him now, hopefully with maybe a schedule behind potentially and everything else.
I think so. I'm going to work for it. I'm going to try to get him as much as I can because he deserves it. He should.
I think that's a great person to have on corruption. We've seen a lot of teams, like I feel like a lot of personalities and the teams that they're on, it makes a big deal about it. And I think Mark Hoyk being on corruption is a chef's kiss.
He's the spice that like we have so many great cerebral players, and you know Mike is kind of like our standout character, but Hoyk brings this entertainment value that we need to not, you know, like. And it's just such a different, and he's so weird and creepy and sinister and loud and such beautiful handwriting. And he's such just an enigma. And everything about him is like, yes, you are everything the Schmoedown needs. He's so great.
100%. I think the guy, you're hitting the nail on the head for me because it is sports entertainment. There's that wrestling aspect to it, and you already have your character is the Queen, and you have Mike and Chance and everybody. Their drive is there. Having that quirky side character a little bit just adds just that extra taste of flair. And
I like that some of our players are more subdued. I like that we have characters. I like that we have people that are just kind of heightened versions of themselves. I like characters like Marisol. Like I love that and Dewberry's quick switch what he did. Like because he's one that he doesn't necessarily come on like our study groups, and he's got his own life and his own shit going on, and he's busy with his stuff, but he's committed. And like when we do stuff and I'm working with him, he's very receptive. And that whole character switch that he did, that heel turn that he made, and him just being like in the twilight zone of whatever happened with that Makuga match, like I messaged him afterwards and I was like, you went full throttle, and I'm so appreciative of you because you didn't have to do that for me. And because like I said, he's not as involved as everyone else is a lot of the time, which is fine, and I'm okay with that. But when he's there, he puts in the work and he tries, and I'm like, I can't ask for more than that. He's so fantastic.
I don't think he gets a lot of press, so to speak, for it, but like I think the fans do notice and appreciate that because we all said the same thing. It was like, wow, look at that guy go! Look at it, and he had that demeanor and everything. That was great.
Yeah, just knowing that he didn't necessarily have to do that, but still went and put that effort into it makes that match so much more important in a sort of way, because it's important, I think, for all of us to know and understand that like people don't have to put in the character work that they do for these things, but they do for our entertainment and for our benefit and for the value of this league. And so big props to Elliot Dewberry for that. I love hearing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's so great. And I was like, I messaged him after the draft because I was like, I'm going to leave space open. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. Come back, Dewberry. And I was like, sorry if you didn't want to do that, but like, I just can't let you go. I was like, I need you. Like, you're so great. And he was like, yeah, of course, let's go. And I was like, yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
I wasn't asking. That was a pretty funny part about it. Like, we're going to leave the room. And then all of a sudden 2 minutes later, wait, nope, change your mind.
No. I want Dewberry back. I think he's great, and he is good. Like he's good. Again, I'm not gonna put him in a tournament, make him go for belts and shit. But that guy's gonna get matches, and he can win. And he's great to watch. He's so fun to watch. So I couldn't just let him. Nope.
100%. Okay, so I gotta ask Shannon. You live in the same house as Mike Kalinowski. We all know that Mike Kalinowski puts in a lot of work. Hello, buddies. We know that Mike Kalinowski puts in a lot of study time work and stuff like that. And I just want to know, just like, is there any little like information, like from a random inner geekdom type of movie? Like, is there a piece of movie knowledge that you've picked up from just hanging out with Mike inside while he's studying, that just like a random piece of movie knowledge that you can say that you know that maybe not other people outside of like the movie trivia Schmoedown world would know?
Not necessarily, but I had to sit through Catwoman with him. And we were on the phone with, or we weren't on the phone with, but we were like texting Smets for some reason. And I was like, oh, I got a question that I want to ask. I want to see if Kevin Smets knows it. And it was like the dumbest detail on Catwoman, because I know how much everyone loves it. And I was like, Smets, like, asking this question, and he didn't know it. And I was like, I'm going to be a fucking question writer. Like, this is amazing. And it was such a great question. And now I'm waiting for it to be asked. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's such a small little detail. But now I find myself like watching these movies and going like, I have my own little notes. And like, one of our study sessions, Chance was going to kill me. We were prepping him for an IG match. And I just gone through like my MCU, like chronological watch along. And so I had all these ridiculous questions, and I was like, okay, everyone pause, like give me the floor. I'm going to ask you 20 questions about like Thor Ragnarok right now. So just relax. Here we go. And Chance was like, can we fucking move on from this now? And I'm like, no, I'm not done asking the questions from things that like I observe. So please. I'm very excited to like know stuff now. I still don't know anything, but it was fun. And I was so glad that I was able to stump Smets on a Catwoman question. And I'll never forget it either. And none of my players will ever forget it, because I drilled it into their heads. And I'm like, this is important.
You know, I gotta say, I think that Kevin's holding that close to his heart too. I believe he mentioned that story to me at one point. He's still holding a grudge about the fact that he didn't know. So.
The problem is he knows now. So.
Yeah, he'll never forget it now.
He also always knows. I don't know what other IG players know, but I know Kevin knows. And he'll make sure that Chandru's not on his team. Never mind. He's not telling Chandru shit. He'll make sure that his IG players know. Parker knows.
Marvel knows.
Yeah.
And Dan now, maybe if he has an IG, we don't know it. But all right, I got a question about the rule change. I want to get your response to the rule changes between now and then, and the establishment of the rule book. Are you a favor of everything? Are you something you're not in favor of? What are your thoughts on it?
I think the timeout is great. I'm interested to see how it's implemented. Whether it's something that people are going to use legitimately, or if they're just going to use it to like ice the kicker. I don't know. I would imagine they would do both. But I think it was a great call, because you know, sometimes things are going really, really well for someone and you want to kind of shove a doorstop in that, or things are going really, really bad for someone and you can't wait until the next round to tell them to get their head out of their ass. You know what I mean? So I love the timeout rule. I think that's great. I'm interested to see, the TKO and KO thing is just, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough to work with. There were a lot of TKOs this past season, a lot. So now it doesn't even become like, can you defend a championship? Can you win a match? Like, can you just not get TKO'd? Like, yeah. And that's going to require everyone to step up their game, because it's too easy now to get TKO'd. We saw it with great matches where things were going well. And then in your third round, all of a sudden you're in TKO range and it happens. And you're like, where was I went like perfect in round one. Where did, you know, so I don't love that, but I get it. And I don't dispute it, you know? So I don't know.
Defense is a thing now. You got to be able to defend your territory. Even if you can't cut, even if you're doing badly, you got to make it so you get into that final round.
Yeah. And the petty challenge thing, it's just like, I don't know how much of that is going to be, I think it'll be upheld, but whether that will deter anyone from throwing a petty challenge, I don't think so. But I didn't personally throw out a lot of challenges last season, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, and also, you know, to my own detriment, like I don't know as much as everyone else does. So maybe I may have missed a challenge or two, but even ones that were brought up later, I was like, I wouldn't have done it anyway. So
right. Champ in the house. So all hail the Queen. 2021 draft. Love Adam Collins here. Very much so. I got one last question before we move on to our next segment.
Yeah.
The chairman did announce the establishment of the FCL, the First Class League, with Chairman Brad Gilmore. What are your thoughts on that? Are you going to be scouting that as hard as you were scouting the rookies earlier for possible midseason pickups?
Great. Now I have 2 freaking jobs. Yeah. Like, how am you think I'm not going to watch that? You think I'm not going to be paying attention to that and seeing the clips and watching who's doing what and figuring out? I mean, there's also a free, like, you guys know that I'm not above cutting someone from my faction. So it's like, yes, I've got eyeballs everywhere. Like I have to. I don't have a choice. Like I think it's great for the people that want to do it. I don't know that. I think it's, again, a self-esteem and a personal thing for some people where it's like, it feels a little like a shot to the, whatever, a shot to the fucking nutsack to be like, hey, why don't you go down and do this now? And you're like, well, no, like, why would I want to do that? But I think it's a great idea. I think I hope that it's successful. I think it will be. But I will absolutely be watching it. And I do encourage people to do it. If you're interested in, making this like big leagues, go to that league and practice and try and get your feel for things. If you have a lot of knowledge, but you don't know how the game works, go do it. Also, like, you love doing this, right? Why would you want to just not do it at all when you have this option in front of you now? Now you have an opportunity to do something you love, whether it's for a hobby or for the goal of making the Schmoedown. So I think it's great. I hope it's successful. I'll support it. And yeah, I'm going to be watching it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brad Gilmore is a perfect chairman for this, I believe, and he knows his stuff. So
yeah, I heard the question writers over there are pretty cool too. Jillian Mussolano. Oh, Jill, best manager right there in the league. Yes, 100%. Love Jill. Love
Billy, you did miss us already talking about Sean Sullivan a lot. We talked about how much we loved him and everything, so you'll have to rewind. I know you're on live earlier, but go back and watch.
We had that segment. We did.
We did have that segment. We're going to move on to the next segment here.
Hey,
I gave you a segue. Hey,
perfect. Got professional. You are 2-time award winners. That's what it is. You're there, but so this is that. You know what this is? I'm going to give Shannon 2 options, A or B. She can decide however she wants to decide between them. She can ask for a clarification. She can make up her own clarification. Of course, if you guys in the chat have anything you want to throw out there, now's your chance, right? Now's your chance. Of course, Streamlabbing it, streamlabs.com/call to action podcast would actually get you up to the front of the line. So I will throw that out there as well. Without further ado, I'll admit it now. I am canceling the first question. I know a lot of people didn't want to hear that anymore. But with, let's say, actually, when Ben Bateman put his sunglasses back on, he cackled up a storm. He went to the dungeon to join Smets. I can't do the team guy, team trader anymore. I can't do it.
This is news to me.
No, I just can't do it anymore. So it's going to be retired. I'll leave you wanting more. But
let's all pour one out for team guy versus team trader. Salute.
I have nothing. Someone said I needed a refill earlier in the chat, and I'm like, you're right, but I'm not going to open a new bottle because it's too late. So I guess we'll pour out this little sad drop. You see that little baby?
I mean, if we're gonna pour anything out for Ben Bateman, a sad drop is definitely gonna be what it is.
Oh, I was pouring it out for Guy, not for Bateman.
Well, I always love Guy more than Bateman. I will never go that far. And yes,
I think that answers your question.
There you go. Perfect. And real quick, I do appreciate this. I saw this in chat and Thrawn. I totally agree. That would be a wonderful show with Sully and Collins.
Collins, did you see that? I'm into it.
Oh, I'm actually very into that. Like as an actual show, it doesn't even have to be Schmoedown related at all. But just because I know Adam Collins and Sean Sullivan and their whiskey taste, I would just love to hear them sip whiskey and talk about movies.
That would be really cool. Gentlemen, I'm into it. Let's do that.
Yes, I know. I'm brave. I'm very brave. We're doing this on StreamYard, so she can't cut me. So it's okay.
I'm not wearing my crown. I'm defenseless. I can't say anything. What am I going to do?
Mr. Kaiser in the chat.
Oh God.
With a big donation. Always great to see you guys. A great show. Don't share any of our super chat money with Shannon. Question: did Mike fix the toaster? That's the hard-hitting question. I was going to get to
he
eventually.
fucking didn't, and I didn't get toast today because of it. Kaiser, I thought you were supposed to come over and take care of that like an hour ago. Where are you?
If Mike's not fit the toaster, I'd be careful, Mike. She's not. I think she's ready to cut you at any time. I wouldn't go past her at all. So.
Is it weird that I make toast on my stovetop?
No, it's
Because
not.
I make breakfast sandwiches, so I'd rather, instead of like putting bread in the toaster on top of everything else, I just heat it up in the skillet while I'm making my sandwich. Is that weird?
No,
Okay.
Not at all. I'd go with it.
I want to give like a different kind of this or that for it. So you were nominated for your feud with Winston and with Roxy, but if you had to pick a feud that you favored the most throughout all of last season, what is your favorite feud from last season?
I think it's the one that won. I think it's Roxy. I mean, she and I just ripped each other's faces off, and we had so much fun doing it. So much fun. Like, I'm sure people, I know some people got sick of it. And they're like, oh my God, can we like not keep doing this? It's so awkward and too much. And I'm like, never too much. Like, Roxy and I had a blast, and we trust each other and we respect each other and we know each other. So it was so fun. And you're not going to see any less of that this season.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Zeus, thank you. And so now is a team trader or team no draft. That's a little harsh on Guy. I mean, he's still in the back of a van somewhere, I think. We don't know exactly where he is. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
My heart hurts from that.
So bad. Okay, let's get it on then. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Whataburger.
Texas girl stays Texas. I can't
Come on. Ask me something difficult.
Texas
Whataburger. I like In-N-Out. I'm not. People think it's overrated and they have their shit that they want to say about it. I will drive through In-N-Out and I will eat it. But if you put Whataburger in my face, I'm scarfing it down.
So I honestly don't know the answer to this question. Does In-N-Out have breakfast food?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm. I don't think. No, I know of, unless it's on some secret fucking menu that I don't know about. But no, I don't.
I'm sorry, but Bob's, you can't put. Thank you, Bob's. Like, I'm sorry. Officially forever. I did not know that In-N-Out did not have breakfast food. So Bob's over everything.
Fair enough. All right. How about staying in the food categories as an old standby? Poutine or loaded fries?
A loaded fries. Come on.
Yes.
Are we just doing food? Because I can do this shit all day. My Twitter feed is full of like food questions, and I don't know why I'm obsessed with stupid. But like, yes, keep them coming. Loaded fries. Poutine is gross. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I like gravy. I'm a big fan of gravy.
I love gravy.
I'm
is there like the cheese curds in it too? Like, is that what it is? Like gravy and
cheese
gravy.
curds.
I'm skeptical of cheese curds. I remember when we would go out after Schmoedown matches to where we'd go to Yard House sometimes, and Jen would order them and someone else would order cheese curds, and I'm like, I love cheese, but I'm not touching that. Like, not doing it. Loaded fries. You got your fucking nacho cheese sauce, which is just, and you got whatever, your chili if you want it, but you got your sour cream and your bacon, and oh my God, yes.
Rico's cheese sauce is the only cheese sauce that matters. If you don't know about Rico's, I feel very sorry for you.
Those are more food questions. That's why I got him. You said you like cheese. Would you rather give up cheese forever or chocolate forever?
Chocolate.
You want cheese more than chocolate? I love that idea. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I could give up chocolate. I like chocolate, but I could give up chocolate easy. I cannot give up cheese.
I'm on the same
shit on everything. I love cheese.
Yeah, I love cheese, but I can give up cheese to eat all sorts of chocolate.
Right.
No. Chocolate. Take a hike. Bye, chocolate.
I am team cheese as well. There you go. Brisket or pulled pork?
Brisket. Oh my God, brisket. But I like the lean. I like lean cut brisket. I like and the burnt ends and pieces. Ooh, Lord, give me.
Yes, like girl. Come back to Texas. Let's go eat some barbecue. Come on.
Yeah. Black's Barbecue, by the way, is the best barbecue. New Braunfels area outside of San Antonio. And there's a couple other locations, but Black's Barbecue, God rest your soul. It's the best. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going.
That's okay. Hot dog or corn dog?
Ooh. A hot dog. Hot dog.
Hot dog?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. I don't need the corn. Yeah. Hot dog.
Salty or savory?
Salty.
Salty.
We're on the same page here, by the way. I have not disagreed to any of your food choices, so I'm in love with that at this point. Never eat grilled cheese again, or never eat mac and cheese again?
Oh, that's not nice.
I'm indeed the queen of mean.
I asked for difficult questions, so you gave it to me. No, I would say never grilled cheese again.
Never grilled cheese again.
I want my mac and cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the palate of a 5-year-old. If you take my mac and cheese away, I'm going to slap you across the face. I love mac and cheese.
100%.
Personally. All right. Wines, dry wine or sweet wine?
I don't dry. I can't do like Moscatos and stuff. I've outgrown them. They're too sweet for me. Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna say I have to end the food stuff now because I feel like I don't want to find one where we disagree at this point. I want to keep us. So we're gonna end the food section now while we're on the same page entirely.
So many great questions going on in this chat, though.
All right, fine. Chunky peanut butter or smooth?
You know what? I could go both on that. I'll split it. I mean, I like chunky peanut, but I always eat smooth just because that's what we have. But I like chunky peanut butter. I don't mind it at all.
I don't either.
I like chunky peanut butter solo. I don't put it on a PB&J sandwich for me. I'm not a fan.
Okay, interesting.
I generally buy smooth, but every once in a while I kind of grab the chunky just like for a change of pace. That's what
if I'm in the mood for it, I'll take it. I don't. Yeah.
Mexican spicy or Indian spicy?
Ooh, Indian spicy. You guys missed the worst for our faction mates. I called my group with like Mike and Chance and Laura and Adam and Marisol, my starting lineup. And we had a study session one night and I had made butter chicken, which is not spicy Indian food by any means. It's like, if you don't know Indian food, like that's kind of like a dish that you start with. I love Indian food. Like, I love it. And Mike is disgusted by it. So because I always buy this stupid like frozen butter chicken from Trader Joe's. I'm a chicken vindaloo girl personally. I love it. But I decided to home make butter chicken and you put a cinnamon stick in it. And Mike was so grossed out by this that he was like wringing my neck about it. And we were in the middle of a study group and I was trying to eat my butter chicken and everyone in the group was like, yeah, man, butter chicken's a pretty like reasonable Indian food. It's not spicy. It's actually quite flavorful. I'm like, it doesn't. He's like, it smells bad. Why the fuck is there cinnamon in my chicken? And he wouldn't eat it. And I'm like, you don't understand how good, like you're missing out on so much good food because Indian food is one of my all-time favorite food. I love Indian food, but I love spicy food. I mean, I love it. Like if I'm crying and sweating, I'm happy.
I can totally hear Mike's rant right there, like in his voice.
We did this for days. Poor Chance and Adam and everyone else were like, are we going to ask a question about a movie or are we just going to talk shit about Shannon's butter chicken all night? But he was so furious over it and it was the best. It was the best. I loved it. But to answer your question, Indian spicy.
Fair enough. On to the guy who ghosts love you, my friend out there. Sunny summer or snowy winter? That's a good question.
I'm a tropical gal. Sunny summer all day. Although I do, and this is another fun fact about Mike and me, because that's all I seem to talk about these days. He's a snowbird and I'm a beach bum. So I cannot get him to go to the beach to save my life. Like he hates being at the beach. And I'm like, I grew up always at the beach. And I'm like, when I was a kid, I wanted to like wake up in the morning with like sand in my sheets. You know what I mean? My uncle had an outdoor shower and I was all about it. So I was always a beach girl, but I do love the snow. Like if we're doing something, I like a nice chalet with like a nice fire and I can ski and stuff, but he is a snow, like I'll go to the snow for him. He won't go to the beach for me. I can do both, but I am absolutely sunny summer all day long.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
All right. What you mentioned, Roxy versus Woods and everything else. Who do you have a better sparring relationship? You think Gucci or Kaiser?
Oh, Kaiser. Although Kaiser's he's like too quick for me. Like Kaiser's so good. He's so good. And because they're both so nonsensical, but Kaiser gives you like Gucci, he says something and you just have to. Kaiser, you can go back and forth with. Gucci just shuts you up because you're like, what am I even gonna like? That there's nowhere to go with this. Like he's not a yes and guy. Kaiser's a yes and guy. And I love everything that comes out of Kaiser's little trash mouth. He's the fucking best. I love him.
All right. Guys, start getting your questions in. I'll end with this one. I know you're a big dog person. I love pups myself and cats, as you can tell. But big pups or small pups?
I'll go big because all pups like that's a weird one because I grew up, I had miniature dachshunds growing up. But for most of my life, I grew up with boxers. So big pups are kind of my thing. But like, as far as traveling and all that kind of stuff, like you want a small, and Cadence is, she's small to medium. So currently small pup, but no, I don't dogs over people. That's not even, we all know that answer, right? Like, it's fucking
I'm completely in there on that train as well. So actually, I did lie. I do one more.
Yeah.
One more of this or that. We do a food thing. It's one we do ask a lot. This is going to make or break us right here, Shannon. Our friendship is on the line right here. A pineapple on pizza or not?
Fuck no.
Yeah. Wow, we are like simpatico here. I gotta say this right there. Cut out, get out. Sorry, Jake. It's all you're.
Love you, Jake. No, I heard that Marisol is a pineapple on pizza girl, and I was like, oh my god, I put everything on the line for you, and you put pineapple on your pizza. We're gonna have a conversation, Marisol.
Salute on that. All right, that is the best way I could possibly end that segment. I'm glad I drilled that out there at this point. It is time for questions from the chat and everything else. Danny, or bring down Kelsey, right?
That's right. We're bringing up Kelsey Kirkland, our dear sweet Kelsey. We're going to go ahead and bring her up in here. Oh, welcome, sweet babe. So this is your chance. Chat. No pun intended, I guess. Get your questions into the chat if you have anything for that. But for now, we're going to... no pineapple. Blunden is on the right team. So we're going to toss this over to Kelsey. Kelsey, you got some questions from our Patreon.
Yep, sure do. Got them ready. All right. Well, got a question from Weston Iro. Time to bend the knee. So, Queen, what do you think about the assistant manager issue? Every day I continue to be disappointed in how lackluster it seems to be as such a crucial time for other teams. So, I guess.
As far as the availability for an assistant manager, or who's eligible for it, or is that what we're asking? Sorry, I just want to clarify.
I think so. Yeah.
I think what I actually read the question. I think what they're asking is the idea that it's a set list of people you can take, but like people could be managing either team. Like you could have Jay manage one, then the next week he could manage Swag, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little off to some people.
I don't mind that because I think there's a small pool of people, because I pitched a couple ideas of people that I wanted to be like Corruption's assistant manager, because I was under the impression that, we chose someone ahead of time to represent us and that was going to be it. So I threw out I asked a bunch of people who weren't into it, and then I asked a couple people who were very into it, but they did not get approved. And so we kind of fleshed out the details in our like group chat, our little manager group chat, about what the expectation was for assistant managers. So the decision to just have a general assistant who can go to each team, I'm okay with that. I mean, my goal is to not miss anyone's matches, so I don't have to deal with it, would be ideal. And I didn't miss anyone's matches last season, and I don't intend to do that this season. But I do work, and if something gets scheduled weird, I'm not going to say, it could happen. I'm going to try my best to avoid needing an assistant, but we'll see. I had suggested at one point predetermining like a team captain from your own faction. So not to have not to go, okay, well, so-and-so would be the better manager for this person for this game, but then we'll switch it out for that one. But before the season starts, you say, okay, like for example, like Chance is our assistant manager and or our team captain, right? And then Mike or Adam or whatever is like our co-captain. So if I have to miss a match, Chance is automatically filling in as an assistant manager, right? Now, if he's unavailable, the co-captain would automatically fill in. But then if they're not available, well, then you just don't have a manager for that match, and because you can't go through everyone, right? But it would be pre-designated, and not a strategic thing, just a pre-designated thing. And I don't know that it's, I mean, whether they want to do that or not, that was my suggestion. But I'm totally fine with having floating assistant managers, because I like the idea of having someone who's been a part of the game too, and who is kind of impartial, because they have to help everyone. So I don't think it's a big of a deal as people, I mean, are people making it a big deal? I didn't think it really was, but
I don't know if a big deal was made. I think it kind of like there were some floating questions, and some people were like, kind of, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I think we're kind of figuring that out as we go. But I don't mind. I mean, we have to be flexible. We have to be open to options, and you know, sometimes the best idea isn't the one that works. So. Right. You know, I'm fine with it. If Jay wants to manage us sometime and then go on and manage the usual suspects, then if that's what he's into and that's his boundaries and that's what he's comfortable doing, then that's fine. I don't care. I don't think anyone that comes in is going to sabotage one team and help another. I think, you know. I
think that was the mindset behind the unease of it. Like, it's kind of like a weird thing. I know their secrets, I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses. And
no, I don't think that's, and I don't think they're going to, I don't think they're going to be utilized as often as people are making it out to be. You know what I mean? How many times last season did someone's manager not show up? You can count on maybe like one hand. So I don't think it's going to be a problem in the first place. So
that could be true, though. That could be true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's the official co-manager spot for the exchange.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Gucci's not even going to come to Barbarians matches. He's just going to manage yourself. And just do it.
Would it really matter at that point, though? I mean, would it matter if he was there for Barbarians?
No.
Go ahead, Gucci.
Next question we have is also from Weston. It says, of this season's rookie class, do you think we have another Adam Collins or Paul Oyama?
No, but I think we got people who are competitive to it. I don't think you're going to see a repeat of an Adam Collins or an Oyama, but I don't know, because there have been an Adam Collins and a Paul Oyama and whatever. There seems to be a trend here. So I'm not going to put money on who it is, because I don't really know. And I don't have enough money to wager on things like that. So I'd rather spend my money on something a little more guaranteed than a gamble like that. But I don't know. I don't know that we're going to see another Adam Collins run, but I think we'll see comparable rookies who could be in contention by the end of the year. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question is also from Weston is, what do you think of a Star Trek or James Bond division?
Nah. Not into it. Sorry.
Wow, does Mike hear that? Is Mike
I don't even think Mike would want a James Bond division. I don't. Nah, that's weird. No.
Just maybe a slice in the inner geekdom division.
Maybe one day we'll get back there. As long as it's in regular play, we're good.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right. Question from Ben Rayner. Actually, just a statement. Hey, Shannon, no question. Just want to say congrats on an incredible last year, and I can't wait to see what you guys do this year. All hail the Queen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And that's all we have for Patreon questions. We did have a super chat question from Andres. Hi. Favorite video game to play with Mike?
None. Are you kidding me? That fucking PS5 is the bane of my existence. I hate it. I can stand to listen to and watch him play like Mortal Kombat. He was really surprised that I knew Raiden's name. He was like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "I was a kid once. Like, Jesus, I know. Like, I get it." But I was like, wow, Mortal Kombat's really come a long way, and they're so graphic in these like fatality scenes. I'm like, they're literally ripping people's spines like out of their nostrils. It's insane. So I watched it. I'm just like, oh, whoa, they really went through with that. Okay, that's what they're doing. Okay. So I'm intrigued by that. I don't play any games with Mike. I don't play any sort of video games with him. I can tell you what I hate the most, and this is going to come as a surprise to absolutely no one, is this fucking Call of Duty. I'm going to throw it out the window. I'm going to absolutely smash it with a hammer and then toss it out of the window in a fucking rainstorm because it's terrible. And Mike turns into the worst person in the world when he plays it. And he's so fucking loud and he's so fucking angry because everyone on that game apparently cheats. But it's between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning when I have to get up for work at 5 o'clock. And I've listened to him for 3 hours going, God damn it. Fuck it all, this guy, the fucking cheaters, this fucking game. And he's stomping across the whole like apartment to get a Diet Coke in this like rage. And I'm like, if you don't shut up. And I'm like, we have neighbors and walls. There was one time, and he'll tell you this story. I left for work and I was like, he was playing and he was not having a good day. He was not having a good game. And I was like, all right, love you, bye. And he's like, bye. So it's quiet as a mouse. I go to unlock my car and I hear, fuck! Outside, down the street. And I called him and I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, and then when I got home, we died laughing. And I was like, I could hear you all the way down the street screaming fuck. And it was, but it drives me nuts. So no, I don't do the whole game thing with Mike. This is no. No.
Thank you for confirming my exact vision of how Mike would be playing video games.
Oh, he's so angry.
And maybe
so angry. But then he keeps playing. And I'm like, get off the fucking game. I'm like, you're going to have a terrible day. Like now you're going to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're set up to have a shitty day because you're mad at some 18-year-old fucking sitting in his mom's basement like jacking off and cheating. Like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time on this? But then he's like, but I have to leave. Like, I have to end on a high note. I'm like, okay, I get it. Touche. All right. Do your thing.
Maybe pay back for the neighbors for the drum set they got, perhaps. Right?
Oh, we had a whole like group thread about that too with the drums, and they play at reasonable hours. I will say, I will give them credit for that. It's not like they're up at 2. It's like Mike was like, I can't really say anything about that group text because I'm up at like 3 in the morning screaming. But apparently, they haven't heard him scream, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But now they all want to listen, and I'm like, you should. It's interesting. Maybe one girl was like, I'm going to set, we have like a neighbor group chat. She's like, I'm going to set an alarm. And I'm like, yeah, do it. Mike's like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed. Please don't. And I'm like, no, everyone should hear this. Or like, he's got like a sixth sense because I'll be in bed and I'll record it. And I'm like, oh, he's going off. But then, or if I'm like out on the couch, but when and it's weird because when I wake up in the morning, then he's like, fuck. And I'm like, no, go ahead, scream now. I'm up. Now I'm awake. Go ahead and fucking scream your head off. It's fine. When I'm asleep is when I'd prefer you to not do that. But sometimes it's like he knows I'm about to record him because it gets really quiet. And I'm like, no, keep yelling. I want 30 seconds of you going off on this shit so I can put it online and put you on blast. And then he won't do it. So I swear to God, he knows that I'm recording him.
One day we'll get that.
One day I'll get it. I promise you.
All right, another super chat. Just saying. Also, hi.
Hi.
All right. Next question comes from Brandon Buckingham. Would you trade 2022 first, second, and third round picks for Laura Kelly?
Ooh.
I feel like that's a little steep, honestly. I'm in the business. I'm fine to like wheel and deal and make trades. And I understand that I have to sacrifice for the things that I want. But I'm not in the business of fucking people over and bleeding them dry just because you have the opportunity to do it. That's not how I play the game. And if that's how people want to play me, then that's on them. But I think that's a bit ridiculous. Laura plays in one division and obviously she's important to me for other reasons, but like she plays in one division. She doesn't have a title shot. She hasn't won. Like, I think that's ridiculous to ask. No one else would agree with me, but, or at least who's trying to make that deal. But
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I agree.
Next question.
Also.
I do too. Next question we have is a super chat from Austin. What's Mike's gamer tag? This is my opportunity to make him yell.
I have no idea. All I know is he doesn't do it live. And it may have been like, if you cheat, fuck you or something like that, or fuck you cheaters. I don't know what it was. He changed it at some point, but I don't know what it is anymore. I don't know. But he doesn't play live and he doesn't share his stuff with anyone just because
I'm telling you, that could be a moneymaker if you played it live, because I think I would definitely be tuning in at all hours to watch that.
I'm gonna suggest that to him. I think
You really should.
I would also suggest not to do that. Like let that be his little bit of just being able to
that's fair.
Have something like to just cuss out into the world without worrying about anything. Like I'm glad that Mike Kalinowski has that.
See, I have no sense of privacy. I'm like, yeah, put it all out there, let everyone see it. But thank you for bringing me back down to reality.
It's just one little thing of being able to ground himself in some sort of way.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Damn you, Danny. Damn you.
All right, another super chat from Andres. Your happy comfort movie to watch after a bad day.
That's an interesting question. I don't turn to movies for that. I'm a music girl, so I have music that I turn to after a bad day or whatever kind of mood that I'm in to support that or get me out of it. But let me.
What's a top 5 album that you would pick? It's hard to pick a favorite. I'd never ask anyone to pick a favorite, but if you had to, like, with a fluctuating top 5 sort of thing, like, what's an album that you put on to get you through a day?
Casey Musgrave's Golden Hour is insane.
Damn it!
So
Damn it, Shannon Barney. I love you so fucking
so
much.
good. I love her. She's a Texas country music artist, and she got her big mainstream break, but she kind of has been bridging the gap between people who don't like country music with her own little pop flair. And she's this quirky, like kitschy, like Biscuits is the best song ever.
Biscuits is one of my favorite songs. Like, if I will put anyone onto Biscuits, it's like, look, I don't care if you don't like country music, but you're my friend and I know that you smoke weed, so just listen to the song really quickly. You're my friend. I know that you don't listen to this. Listen to this. Biscuits is a song that I always try to put on.
I mean, I love all her shit. Mike got me Garth Brooks, like this deluxe album and all of his like live concerts, vinyl, and I cried on Christmas. I was so excited about it. But I'm a country music girl, and I've got a song for like every single mood, and 90s country particularly for some reason. Like that's what I grew up with, like Clint Black and George Strait, and oh my god, one of my
raw stuff. Reba, yes,
Reba. I love also. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I'm so embarrassed that I fucking can't remember his name. Oh no, because it's so. Oh, Dwight Yoakam. I love. But yeah, I don't know about movies though. I don't know if there's something I come home and I turn on and I'm like, yeah, I feel better now. It's music for me.
Perfect. All right, well, one more we'll close out there.
All right. What's her Kaiser double feature? Okay, so Kaiser always asks anytime we have him on the show, like, pick 2 movies. If you're showing it to friends and family and you had to pick 2 movies, do a double feature. It could change day to day. It doesn't have to be like this is always your choice. But like today, if you had friends and family over, what 2 movies would you watch together?
Oh God. With my family?
Or just anybody. If you just had a group of people that you wanted to.
And I need to turn something on. Here, we're gonna watch this, put this on. Probably like Birds of Prey.
Yes.
And God, I would throw on probably like Wedding Crashers.
Yes. I'm totally down for that double feature. I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something because everyone knows it and can recite it. So I'd have that playing in the background and we'd tune in for our great moments. But that movie never gets old to me. I do love that. It's good.
Nice.
Yes. That's a wonderful movie to pick. Birds of Prey is a big Kelsey movie. Wedding Crashers, I can definitely tell you that Vince Vaughn is a big thing here at the Call to Action podcast. But that's gonna be it for tonight, y'all. Oh my gosh, Shannon, Barney, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us on this Sunday night. That was a lot of fun. There's a lot of information that we got about the Schmoedown and the draft. And a lot of good things that we got to know about you and everything else. We were super pumped to have you here again, Shannon. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all so much for having me. This was fun. No, I'm like, is my time limit really a time limit? Like, should we go? I know.
That's always the strange question that we have, and it's always a weird thing. But Shannon, again, much love to you. Let us know what you got going on. Let us know where the people can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me. I'm at Oh My Barney on Twitter and Instagram. I don't do a whole lot of the Facebook thing. It's more of a personal thing. So I say it on every show. If you try to friend request me and I ignore you or I don't see it, it's nothing against you. I have more public outlets that I'd prefer to interact on. And then I guess there's this stereo app, and I don't know how to use it or what it is, or what the goal is for it. I don't know that I'll ever actually use it, but I did sign up for it because I wanted Mike to judge my avatar, and he never fucking did. I just showed it to him while he was like half asleep, and he's like, "Yeah, it's great." And I was like, "Cool, all right, I'm glad that was worth my time." So if somebody wants to teach me what to do with that, and if it's fun, I'm all about it. But I'm on there. You guys can follow me and see my stupid polls and weird pictures and whatever. I'm pretty boring, but that's where I'm at. I am online, and I like to just do whatever I want there. So, oh my Barney.
We did have a stream left come in. We have one more question if we could, because I didn't miss that one. Just so you know. From Eric Lane, he donated and said, I was 100% in on corruption since I met Shannon after the draft last year. I've been a Mike fan for a while, and Chances from Arizona. I find it hilarious that the Queen loves to take jab at the nerds when Mike is a giant nerd. LOL.
I know.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, without further ado, back to the where we were.
Kelsey.
Well, you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at Miss Quinkins on Instagram. That's my cosplay page. Twitch at KelseyKinsGamer. Hopefully, I'll be doing some streams on there. And of course, you find me all the time on Call to Action. So I'll see you guys around.
Find me at Paul _Duduzzi on Twitter. You can find me on Chilled Action every other week as it goes. Although we might have a special one coming up. I can't announce it yet because we're not sure on some things. We've got some scheduling things. We're dotting some I's, crossing some T's, all that good stuff. But hopefully soon we'll be able to announce something. And also on the channel this week, I'll throw it out there now. We do have our new show tomorrow, I believe it. Led by Megs, our statistician, the better Frankie numbers, as I like to call her, because I think it's going to be a stats-oriented show. It's going to be at 4 p.m. I believe Pacific. Danny, are you? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's 4 p.m. Pacific, correct? It's going to be all sorts of statistical look at the Schmoedown and bringing the numbers to the draft and everything else. It should be a lot of fun. She knows her stuff, let me tell you. Of course, Call to Action Live will be up next week. We have Frankie Alvarez coming on, and we also have Paige for Betty coming on from rookies. So there's more rookie talk with them. I believe that's all the shows we have this week. I think we have one potentially also with Schmoebaits in the work, but I'm not sure we can announce that one yet either, because I don't know if that one is worked out yet. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of iron, what's that, rods in the fire, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. We'll move on. I'm a little tired of this myself. So, Danny, we're up to you. Go ahead.
You know me, y'all. It's your girl, Danny Joy here. You can find me on Twitter at Danny Joy, DANIEEJOY. You can also find me here on the Call to Action Network, hanging out, doing stuff with all of these wonderful, great people. All of that good stuff. We love you all and we appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for everyone who hung out with us inside of the chat today. Thank you for getting your questions in and all of that good stuff. Shannon, Kelsey, we love you both so much. Thank you all. Kelsey, thank you for the work that you do for this channel. Thank you. Shannon, thank you so much for coming back on the Call to Action Network. We cannot wait to talk to you again, especially going into 2021, man.
Thank you. Anytime, y'all. Anytime.
It's going to be a great season, but for now, I'm going to put you all behind the scenes. Thank you so much again, Shannon. Man, what a crazy few weeks that the Schmoedown has gone through. We went through the awards, we went through the free agency, and then we went through the draft. What a crazy month that this has been. February is going to be the start of season 8. I'm sorry.
Season 8 is war.
Season 8. It's going to be so crazy. Going into this next season again, it's going to be nuts for a lot of different people, but for gratitude for this week, y'all, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been there for us as a channel. Again, I know that we've had the opportunity to say this a few times, but we can't thank you all enough for giving us two times the award-winning podcast of the year, but Schmoedown Media. But we're looking forward to going into the next season. Again, y'all, thank you so much for everything. Paul, do you have any gratitude for this week?
You basically said it all. I mean, I just thank our fans, thank the Action Army as always, and always thank Ben and Drew for inspiring our channel initially. Love the Schmoedown. Love everybody that's come into it since then. It's a great community overall, and I'm here for you guys. You guys are here for us. That's all I can say. I love you guys.
That's it. Give your puppies a belly rub. Tell your people that you love them. Give everyone else that you know out there some gratitude. Spread some love throughout this. We love the Schmoedown. We love this community. Thank you all so much. That's going to be it for us from the Call to Action Network. For everyone from the Call to Action channel, again, we love you. And as always, we salute you. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.